Well, this is Susan with Blue Buckle Bunny Farm Channel, and today I'm going to talk about sauerkraut some more. I have just made one huge jar of sauerkraut, and I've got enough to make another one. So, since I've already made this, we're just mostly going to talk about it, and I'll tell you the recipe again. I want to show you the sauerkraut I made before and tell you a few mistakes I made and how I'm going to go about correcting those. Last time I made a video on sauerkraut, I said I ain't going to show you how to cut cabbage. Y'all know how to cut cabbage? Well, old smart me didn't know much about cutting cabbage because I think I cut it a little bit too big. So after my sauerkraut was made, I put it all back into the food processor and I chopped it up. And I got it chopped up really, really fine. Like that in the food processor. And oh, this stuff is so good. It is so sour. I know you can't tell by the face I'm making, but that is good. That's good. It'd be so good on some hot dogs. You know, I got a hot dog restaurant. Yep, Wanted Dogs Vending and Catering. If this stuff didn't cost a fortune to make, I might serve it. I might make a hot dog that costs $9 though. Cabbage used to be one of the cheapest foods you could get. Even at, I think I bought 4 cabbages last time. It was nearly $13. So this is a great way, if you grow cabbage, to preserve it. But what I want to talk about is, I'll tell you the recipe. You cut your cabbage up. And you cut it up real fine. Last time I did, like I said, I didn't cut it up fine enough. So I cut this up much, much finer. Instead of shreds, I cut it up into fine little pieces like that. So per 5 pounds of cabbage, you put 3 tablespoons of non-iodized salt. 3 tablespoons per 5 pounds. I got this right here from the Whole Foods. It's just some sea salt. And I put that on there. 3 tablespoons per 5 pounds of cabbage. And 1 tablespoon salt, tablespoon of celery seed. It gives it a nice little pop, a good little flavor. So you cut your cabbage up, you put your salt on it, and then you squish your cabbage. You squish it and squish it and squish it until it begins to kind of break down and get sort of juicy. Then we're going to put this in a jar. I know my head keeps getting cut off the top, but y'all just watch my hands. Right, then you just put it in the jar. And we'll see, this is probably about 3 cabbages right here, maybe 4, I can't remember. But when you get it, you smush it down real packed in there. Because this will continue to make juice, because what happens is the salt pulls all of that moisture, all that water out of the cabbage and makes that juice. And then as time passes, little bacteria in here start breaking down the sugars that's in that cabbage leaf. And it begins to ferment. And that's what makes that good old sour taste. And we had some of that on some weenies the other night. Oh, so good, so good. I ate a big old bowl of it. I know you think of sauerkraut as a condiment, but it was a main dish. I'm telling you, that stuff is so sour, so good. I made that sauerkraut over there on December 28th. And I opened it up after 2 weeks and it was real good. But it's been a month now, and it's just awesome. It is so good. You want to keep your sauerkraut at between 65 and 70 degrees in your house. You just don't want your house to get too hot or too cold for that fermentation process to happen. And you see, it's going to make a bunch of juice. See, I did not add any water. That's just the liquid that the salt pulled out of the cabbage. And you will pour that in there. You pour that in there, put all your sauerkraut in there, all your cabbage in there. And I did some things different. That's why I'm doing this video again. You push it all down. This sauerkraut ferments in here in an anaerobic environment, which means in the absence of oxygen. So you want to cover all that up as much as you can. Get it all down below that liquid level. Last time I took a baggie of water and I put in there to take up the space that the air would in the jar, but I took it out because sometimes baggies leak and I did not want to leak any water into my sauerkraut. So I washed off these leaves, and these are the outer leaves of your cabbage. And we're going to take those and we're going to push it down right here. Push all that down and cover it with these big old cabbage leaves. We're going to do that to keep it, just want to mold it kind of down to it. Now, after 2 weeks or a month, when I open this up, I'll pull this cabbage leaf off the top and I'll just throw that away. But there you go. That's all it takes to make sauerkraut. And I think that this will be chopped up fine enough that I won't have to put it in the food processor. But that putting it in the food processor after it was made it so good and so easy to eat. And this stuff is so good for your microbiome. It is just really, really good. It's a real good probiotic. Puts all the good bacteria into your gut. Helps your digestion. Stuff make you so regular. Oh, and you know when you're regular, you just feel better. Makes you feel light. Well, there you go. There's your sauerkraut again. And me admitting to the mistakes I made and how to correct them. So, y'all go home and make you some sauerkraut. I'm out.